In Ghana, when the smallest things get them closer to a dream, they get so excited. That is, if they have a dream. It's not like our country where not much gets in the way of fulfilling our dreams. It's difficult trying to provide food for her 7 kids when the animals have eaten her crops. It's difficult when her husband is a drunk and doesn't do anything to make even the smallest amount of money. She could act as though she chose this lifestyle, but she didn't. Her dream is to care for her children and to make them become something greater, to get an education, to learn to read and write and make a difference. But the elders of the town want the women to be given the resources and training they need to better their families and communities. Many of you women in this room are mothers, wives, daughters, sisters who want the same things that this woman wants. Hope is a universal language that we can all understand. Hope for our families, our friends, and our communities. When women dream, we dream big. And that is what Women Worth a Million is all about. This program began just 2 short years ago with a dream and a few women who wanted to change the world. Now, hundreds have seen hope through the eyes of their sisters and have joined us in this movement. It just takes a small investment from each of us to make a big impact for women around the world.
This fall, Healing Hands began supporting the Urerihana project in Mozambique. Urerihana is a word that has 2 meanings in Makua. It means to bless others or to make others beautiful. And the goal of this ministry is to weave those 2 meanings together, making others beautiful while blessing them. This group of ladies in Mozambique are working together doing sewing projects as well as making jewelry to support themselves and their families. The women that have been involved with this project have been involved with the women's Bible study that the missionaries there have started, and it has been going on for about 8 years now. The ladies of this project desire to provide for themselves as well as their families and grow in their faiths during the meeting times.
Mira que ne hanya kantita, que hana shana kaseji, que sali igreja da baba na awanyakayo, que hana ante kwaka oreri hana, unkajutar que tomake yoda que daka na shana.
Mi Delfina Gerardo, que na sukuru que havo kinkumi, awanyaka hokikwele em 2011, que na varante com voluntariamente o hospital, que na varante com o projeto Reri Hanawatiana, que na sukuru e hoki Reri Hayonte ko yokoteka enupaka, ni que na swali igreja yela.
Ni que ne hania Selina, que encara un tipo de himumu, que faria de querer ir aquela va, ni hana va en 13, así que no Reri Hana. Ni kihanu wani awanuhu uchulu anseli impereze inoka chutari venchi chinene kontamiki ohiria sana nasanaka inoka chutari venchi chinene kindia mumu kinkulivela mumu.
Jina nakaa Terezinha Germindo, que nasoma 11ª classe, escola secundária 15 de outubro, Montepuez. Ni kina kala waso ni hamira o igreja pamoja nasi mai neche seni na kaloso mihana manano winu wa igreja ni somihana kachicha moni na kalo varanteko emprezo Reri Hana suruku yoyo na kala oki kabiheru shkola e dispensa wa Pwani ni miteko jote.
Out I went on a mission trip last February of 2012. It's a small mission team. We went all over India. We spent 4 weeks there. We went to many remote villages and many different venues as far as churches and scenarios. And when I went to Nellore is where Prasanthi lives, we went up to the second floor of the church building. Many of the houses are that way, where they have the first floor is where folks live and the second floor is where the church is. So that wasn't unusual. But when we went up to the second floor and I walked into that door, I saw something I hadn't seen anywhere else in India, and that was sewing machines. Now, why would there be sewing machines on the balcony of a church building in the middle of India? And so I walked around the balcony and looked, and there were 8 of them. And the preacher's wife is very, very striking to begin with, approached me, and I started asking her, and she was fluent in English. And I said, why do you have sewing machines at the church building? And she said, sister, she said, I've had a goal from my childhood, and that was to teach others, Hindu and Muslim, because that's what you mostly find in India, about the gospel. She said, I was raised in the truth, and I wanted to teach others about it. She said, my mama taught me as a child how to sew. So I grew up with basic information about how to sew. And then when I got married, I married a good man, Mohan, who's the preacher there at Nellore. And he knew of my love of mission work and of teaching others. He knew of my love of how to sew. And he encouraged her. She told me, these are her words, she said, he encouraged me to further my education, to learn how to sew, in order that I can help teach others. Number one, how to sew, but more importantly, about the Lord. She told me that she went to school and she got her certification. The Indian government, through a local college, saw her work, and they wanted their students to attend her class. They said, we want to give you students, and we want you to teach them how to sew as well as you do. But what we will do is give you a certificate of completion for your students, so they will be able to earn an income themselves. And so they used the money that her daddy had to cover basic costs. There was no charge for the school. There was no charge for the supply. And somebody had to cover the maintenance cost. And that came out of the sacrificial love of her daddy. And then the Lord intervened in that situation, because the Lord opened the doors to Healing Hands to step in. Healing Hands has given hope to people that had no hope. And it's a beautiful story. Because of you, she now has the opportunity to showcase her beautiful things that she makes over here in America. She didn't have that opportunity before. So not only is America now a venue for her to sell her products, but in 2013, she can expand her business. That you'll look in the Women Worth a Million room, because you're going to be fascinated by what you see. Beautiful Curtis, gorgeous scarves and pillows and purses. You're going to be wowed by the professionalism of this little gal from India. And thank God for her, but more, thank God for what you've done to enrich her life and those who are needing hope in India.
Today, you are going to hear about several different ways of how you can be a woman worth a million, and we hope you will join us.